Hey everybody, what's up today? Just time for another little driving video in the truck here. In today's video, I want to talk about sort of probably a topic I don't know if a lot of people have really thought about, but it's definitely something to be discussed, and that is, who are better bass anglers, Japanese anglers or American anglers? And I feel like I can talk on this, pretty good because, I've been with Mega Bass, which is a Japanese lure company, since 1992. I've been to Japan 4 times, working for Mega Bass at sports shows over there in Tokyo, and I've also been to the factory, the Mega Bass factory in Hamamatsu City, Japan, and fished a couple lakes over there. It's man, you talk about a different world if you've never been over there. It's like the cities over there are just nothing but just like bright neon lights and just people everywhere, but they're super clean, unbelievably clean considering how many people are there. And the countryside, as you get down in the south part of the country, as you pass through Mount Fuji and all that, just beautiful countryside. It's really neat over there. A lot of people, here in the States, some people used to have gardens over there. Like most of the houses you go past, once you get in the rural part of the country, they grow tea, for green tea, so it's just pretty cool. But so anyway, I've had a chance to really spend a lot of time around, Japanese anglers. I've got a pretty good understanding of, their culture and their viewpoints towards fishing. And I've got a lot of Japanese friends that I've made over the years, through fishing the tournaments here in the States, through Mega Bass, I've had a chance to spend a lot of time with Takahiro Mori, has, spent a week or so at my house, hanging out before, and the people I work with at Mega Bass, are from Japan as well. But the question is who's the better anglers, Japanese anglers or American anglers? And I want to start out with the Japanese anglers first. The Japanese anglers in general, and the ones that I have met, they have such a keen awareness to the attention to detail that it's second to none. It's way above the American angler, as far as how they perceive baits is almost sort of like an artwork. A lot of people over there, they collect lures. They don't really fish with them. They spend a lot of time just on the fine design profiles, looks, colors. They're the ones that came up with like the little gills and the fish head swim baits, fish head spinner baits, that type of stuff. And all the baits that you see out there that are super high quality components, originated in Japan, because that's just the way they do it over there. They just, their attention to detail is unmatched. And for the most part, for all the part, the Japanese anglers that I've been around here in the States and the ones I've met in Japan, they have a tremendous work ethic. They're just laser focused. They're minimalists. They're willing to sacrifice, the comforts of life to pursue their dream and catch fish. And their attention to detail and work ethic are just very admirable in my opinion. And they're super curious, most of the Japanese anglers. All the ones I've become friends with, it's like they want to absorb information like a sponge, and really motivated. And I'm just really impressed with how they approach fishing. American anglers, on the other hand, they tend to be a little bit more laid back, not quite as attention to detail oriented, but they have, it seems like to me, a lot of the really good American anglers have a lot of really good natural instincts that really help them a lot on the water. They go with their gut, they go with their feel. Their awareness on the water is super high, and it's almost like, when you compare the two, there's like the Japanese anglers are really strong in like the analytical part of fishing, and the intellectual part of fishing, and the American anglers, they're really strong at the more abstract things that make people really good anglers. But ultimately, it boils down to the fact that both cultures just love fishing. They love bass fishing. They love everything about it. They love the challenge of it. They love the thrill of competition. And so you can't really, look at, it's not like you can say that one is better than another. I mean, the success that the Japanese anglers have had coming to the United States has been phenomenal. And you think about it. Think about this for a second. Say you're just a young 20-year-old Japanese angler that has a dream about fishing the American tours, and you have to be not only willing to position yourself financially enough to go make that leap, but you have to put yourself in a position where you're going into a completely foreign culture, a completely different language. Everything about moving through the country is different. The signs are different. The food's different that you eat. The people you're around is completely different. All your family's 6,000 miles away from you. That demands respect. I mean, anytime that you are willing to go out on a limb that far to pursue your dreams, that's just unbelievably impressive to me to do that. And that's one of the things I've always been impressed with the Japanese friends that I've had, as far as what it has taken for them to come over and do that. How many American anglers would be willing to leave their home and go live in a foreign country to pursue their dream fishing tournaments? You just don't see it the opposite as much. But ultimately, like I said, you can't group who is a better angler based upon cultures and nationalities. It all gets down to an individual level of passion and desire, and being able to acquire the resources to do that. It doesn't make any difference if you are an American angler or a Japanese angler. You simply can't compete at the top level unless you just have that unquenchable desire to get out there and do that, because that unquenchable desire will force you to make the sacrifices necessary to do that. It will force you to be disciplined enough to turn your bass fishing into an art form and a craft. And if you don't have that, yeah, you can still come out and fish tournaments, but you're basically just going to be donating to everybody else unless you have that. But I've just been really fortunate. I've been really fortunate to be able to experience a large part of the Japanese culture, meet a lot of really cool Japanese anglers, and form a lot of Japanese friendships that I still have to this day. And they really added a lot to the sport, and it's really helped grow our sport on an international level with the presence of bass fishing tournaments in Japan, South Africa, Spain, all that type of stuff. So anyway, that's just two thoughts on it. Like I said, hope you guys are doing good today. Appreciate everybody subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, hit the like button on it and subscribe if you haven't. And we'll keep on putting them out for you all. And if you got any suggestions on what you'd like to hear, just shoot them and send me a comment. We'll see you later.